So this was one of the responses to my video on why I think Captain Marvel narratively beats Superman and can take Doomsday. He says that just because Captain Marvel has access to multiple God's powers doesn't mean that he himself is a god. If I had Albert Einstein's intellect, would I not be considered a genius? Why would I be considered a genius? Because I have Albert Einstein's intellect. So if I have the powers of a god, does that not make me a god? This is literally what Black Adam said in that Superman / Shazam thingy. This is literally what he said. If I have the powers of the gods, am I not a god myself? How can you have the powers of the gods and then you say you are not a god? How can I have the intellect of Albert Einstein and I'm not a genius? How can I have the skills of Cristiano Ronaldo and I'm not the GOAT? Dude, this argument is baseless. Okay, from there he then says, Captain Marvel at the very least is a vessel for the divine powers of those gods, or a demi-human. What does that mean? He's lost multiple times to the very gods he gets his powers from. Name 5 instances. Name one. Name just one. In the whole Captain Marvel lineup, in the whole Shazam lineup, the only being Captain Marvel will lose to is Zeus. That's the only person he'd lose to. And that one will be a close fight. He now says, he said attributes because those were the specific things he got from them. He didn't get their main powers. He got a little of their most popular powers. Their most popular powers are their main powers. Hercules is known for his strength. What else does he have besides his strength and his mind? Solomon is the wisest man that ever lived. He's Solomon a fighter. Achilles, he was courageous. He was not scared of anything because of his invulnerability. That invulnerability allowed him to do anything he wanted till they got him in his heel. Who again? Mercury is known for his speed. What other attribute do you want from him? Zeus is known for his power because he's the king of the gods and he has that power. He said that Captain Marvel does not have the full... Where did they say? Show me where they said that he does not have the full powers of his patrons. And then even if they said it in War of the Gods, like I showed you, if you watch the full thing, they literally gave him back his full their full abilities. So your point still doesn't stand. Let's get to the next guy. The next guy then says he watched my videos that have a shit take. If I think Captain Marvel should be stronger, doesn't mean that he is. And then he said Injustice Comics Superman, no diff. Captain Marvel held him by his neck and started lasering him through his skull, and Captain Marvel couldn't free himself from a one-hand grip during a death situation. Apart from that, Superman has a better source wall feat. Superman has a better feat than Zeus, than Zeus, Odin, and Jove, who is an extension of Zeus, splitting the source itself. Like, the source is a being, it's alive. They split it. How Superman has a better feat than doing that? Okay, forget what I said. This guy now brought up injustice of all things in the world. Injustice. Let me put it to you like this. Superman was meant to kill Billy Batson in his boy form, not in his Captain Marvel form. But because they cannot show Superman killing a boy, that's why they use his Captain Marvel form. Because there is no world where Superman goes rogue and Captain Marvel is alive and Captain Marvel will not stop him. That's the first thing. Number 2, if we consider this injustice feat, thank you for bringing up injustice. In the same injustice, Hercules 1v2'd Superman and Wonder Woman and won. Then Captain Marvel came and gave him belt to ass. So what are you saying? How does Hercules beat Superman? Then Captain Marvel beats Hercules. Then Captain Marvel cannot beat Superman. The reasoning doesn't even make sense. That was a narrative decision. The writer did that to get Captain Marvel out of the story, but they could not show Superman killing a boy. It's not because of anything. So your own point is invalid. What are you saying? You don't even know what you're talking about. You just play one game and then your whole comics knowledge is based on the game. See what he's saying? He even literally said Injustice Comics. That means you don't even read the full thing. Do you get me? Now, he said that just because I want it to be true doesn't mean that it is. It's not because I want it to be true. And like I said in my video, I removed myself from the fact that Captain Marvel is my favorite character. Going off statements from Darkseid and the Source, talking about how the unison of gods produces a being greater than the gods, then we saw Highfather, Zeus, Jove, Odin, Ares fuse into one being because they couldn't do it individually. Then we now saw like Highfather, Zeus, Odin, Jove use their abilities to split the source. I'm showing you canon DC elements, showing that once two or more gods come together, they fuse together, they use their abilities together, that thing is greater than the individuals. And that is what Shazam is. I'm just showing you narrative. Like, the reason I'm angry is because following the logic of the universe they've established, Superman can't win. That's just the thing. Because of the way the universe is, it's not because of what I want. It's just common sense. If you remove your Superman bias, if you remove it, you would agree to. But some people can't be helped. That's just what I'm saying. Then to answer this guy, Loki, your own point is valid, right? The thing is that DC is tricky with this. Look, I feel like this thing you are talking about, that happened in Injustice, but it hasn't happened anywhere else. Now, the acronym Shazam is a contract with the gods, and it's a spell. Once that spell happens, it cannot be taken back. The wizard cannot take the powers. Zeus cannot even give you the powers till you say Shazam. He's bound by the wizard's spell. That's why when Billy was dying, Zeus was not even able to save him. That Mary had to shout Shazam, that he now threw the lightning bolt. Now, to debunk this, in War of the Gods, Billy Batson was mind-controlled and he was made to fight for the Roman pantheon against Zeus and Wonder Woman and the Greek pantheon. If Zeus could genuinely take the powers from him, why didn't he stop him here? Boom! I've debunked you. But then again, you are still the most right? Because, yes, I feel like if Katumaru should fight Zeus, he's not Zeus, so I feel like he wouldn't be able to use Zeus's power in particular. Because when they say the power of Zeus, it's not lightning, it's the power of Zeus, genuinely, like the genuine power of Zeus. So it'll be a hard fight, but I still think Zeus would win. Out of all the patron gods, Zeus will win. But then the thing is that your argument still stands, because I remember when they went to... in 52, right? When Billy went to the Egyptian gods to ask them to take away Black Adam's powers, and they said no. So your argument still stands. But then, if Zeus was really able to do it, why didn't he do it in War of the Gods? You feel me? So, yeah, your own is 50-50. Genuinely, it's 50-50. Okay, then this guy responded as I was making the video. He says, out of the 5, that only Mercury and Zeus are gods. Bro, Atlas is a Titan. Titans are the genetic templates for the Greek gods. So Atlas is a god. That's number 1. 2, Hercules is no longer a demigod. Even in real life mythology, he was elevated to godhood. So we can still count Hercules as a god. But because he's popularly known as a demigod, that's why we're even saying he's a demigod. Fine, Fez. He now says that canonically only Zeus has consistently defeated Captain Marvel. Zeus and Captain Marvel only even fought once. Which one is consistently? They've only fought once. And just because you gain the intellect of Einstein doesn't mean you automatically become intelligent. How? Do you know what it means to gain the intellect of Einstein? Like, the way Einstein thinks is the way I think all of a sudden. How won't I be on his level? What are you saying? He now says, Shazam is basically a child, a walking nuke. He's powerful, but he doesn't know how to use it. Who told you he doesn't know how to use it? I've said this thing before. Captain Marvel has been operating as a superhero since the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Captain Marvel has been operating as a superhero since Wally West became the main Flash. Now, in the time it took Wally West to become Flash, right? He met Linda, that's his wife. He cracked her. He had 2 children. And those 2 children are around 11, 12, 13 in canon right now. That means Billy got his powers 8, 9, 10, and he's 15 now. What do you mean he doesn't know how to use? You people just be saying rubbish, like utter nonsense. This doesn't even make sense. Going through the history of the universe, it doesn't make sense. Genuinely. He said he isn't a god. His source of power is dependent on the gods lending him their power. Another reason of fusion war. The gods are in a contract. They made a deal with Shazam to give him the right to give the champion of the earth their powers. It's a contract kind of thing, but it's not like a regular contract that expires. We've never seen where it expires. Do you understand? Look, there is no in and out of this. What I'm doing, right, is just because you've never met a creator like me. Everybody just, you know that thing where all the sheep, they are going one way, then there's that one sheep that's going the other way. That's me. I'm thinking outside the box, and I'm making you think. And now that I'm making you think, what you're saying is nonsensical. Because you've accepted Superman as the top of the top for so long, for the fact that I'm providing things that are going against your thinking, it's sounding like rubbish to you. But once you look into it, you see I'm telling the truth.